Good morning, Bristol Christian Church. Donna, thank you for playing the piano this morning. Mike, thanks for leading the singing and for the communion meditation. Whoever did that, I appreciate it, along with a lot of other stuff that I know people do every week, keeping the nursery, communion preparation, keeping the building and the grounds clean. You guys do a great job. We're continuing our sermon series this morning that we started last week, What I've Learned in the Woods. And what we saw last week, the lesson of having to walk carefully when we're in the outdoors. There are a lot of dangers. And we saw the similarities in the Christian life that we have to walk carefully, or as the Bible says, circumspectly. We have to consider all of our steps, all of our choices, our words, our actions. It's important if we want to be the witnesses for Christ that we know we ought to be. In continuing that series this morning, we're going to be talking about missing the mark. The Bible often talks about sin as missing the mark. We're going to turn that around in the positive context this morning and talk about how important it is as Christians to hit the target, to hit the mark that God has set, the standards that He set for our life, and how important that is. I will tell you that I'm impressed. A lot of you guys at Bristol are good shots, even some of you ladies. You normally hit what you aim at with your bow, with your rifle, and that's impressive. Sometimes there's nothing more frustrating than spending weeks and even months tuning your bow just right, getting your scope zeroed, all the preparation. You think about it in your sleep. You get out in the woods on opening morning, the buck of a lifetime comes by, you take the shot, and you miss, and the buck runs off. But he doesn't normally just run off. He runs off laughing, usually, and that's something you definitely don't want to do in the woods. You want to make sure that you're on target when you pull the trigger. I remember the very first time that I sat in a deer stand, and the first shot I ever took at a deer, I aimed it, it was perfectly on the mark, I pulled the trigger, and the deer ran off. I almost think he came back halfway just to laugh, and then he ran off again, but definitely something that's a downer when you're in the woods. But today what we're going to do, we're going to look at the Christian life in light of hitting the mark. Because again, sin is missing the mark, and we want to live a life that's pleasing to God, and we want to make sure that we hit the mark.